Today, we're tackling a really critical question. Is your company's strategy actually working? We're going to explore why even the best-laid plans can fall apart, and we'll reveal how the most successful organizations out there evaluate, adapt, and stay on course.
Let's kick things off with this powerful idea from the management guru Peter Drucker. What he's really warning us about here is that without constantly checking in on our plan, we just end up wasting all our energy protecting old ideas instead of building the future. You know, a great strategy is just the starting point. It's not the final destination. I want you to think of a successful company like a big ship on a long voyage. Its strategy? That's the map. But the ocean? The market? Well, that's always changing. A clear path yesterday could easily be a raging storm today. So you can see why even the best captains have to be constantly reevaluating their course, right? So what's the deal? What causes these powerful ships to drift off course, or in some cases, even sink? It's usually not one single thing, but, a combination of these powerful, changing forces all hitting at once.
The business environment is exactly like that unpredictable ocean. A competitor might suddenly launch a game-changing product. Your customers might wake up one day and decide they want something totally different. Or, bam, a new technology appears out of nowhere. Any one of these shifts can make that beautiful map you drew up completely useless.
This is a pretty stark reminder, isn't it? No matter how dominant you are today, you are never invincible. Success has a way of breeding complacency, but the market, it never, ever sleeps. Constant evaluation isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely essential for survival.
Okay, so if the waters are so choppy, how does a good captain, or in our case, a good CEO, actually navigate through all of this? Well, it's not guesswork. It's a disciplined process, a series of regular checkups to make sure you stay on course. It really boils down to this disciplined three-step process. First, you have to ask, are the big assumptions we built our entire map on still true? Second, you check your instruments. Are we actually where we thought we'd be at this point? And third, if there's a gap, you take corrective action. You adjust the sails, you turn the rudder, whatever it takes to get back on track. And this isn't just theory. A perfect massive scale example of this in the real world is Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. For decades, their entire economy was built on one single assumption: oil. After they reevaluated that core assumption, they launched Vision 2030, which is basically one giant corrective action to diversify their entire economy.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this chart just simplifies the whole decision. Notice that result column. Unless everything is absolutely perfect, that single top row right there, the answer is almost always to take corrective action. In a world that's constantly changing, standing still is basically never the right move.
But here's the thing. Checking your position isn't just about financial speed and profit. That's kind of like a captain only checking the ship's speed. To really understand the journey, you've got to check the total health of the ship.
And this brings up a huge question. Are those traditional financial numbers, things like profit and return on investment, are they really enough to tell you if you're truly winning? Or are they just telling you a part of the story?
The answer is a big fat no. Seriously, relying only on financials is like trying to navigate your ship by looking at the wake you're leaving behind you. Sure, it shows you where you've been, but it tells you absolutely nothing about where you're going. Those non-financial metrics, like how happy your customers are, those are your forward-looking instruments. They help you see what's on the horizon.
And this is where something called the Balanced Scorecard comes in. It's a really powerful tool for strategy evaluation. The best way to think of it is like a complete dashboard for the captain, showing not just speed, but engine health, crew morale, and passenger satisfaction, every single critical system on the ship.
So, the crucial point here is that this whole approach forces leaders to look way beyond just the bottom line. It makes them ask the tough questions. Are our customers happy? Are our employees engaged and fired up? Are our processes actually efficient? It gives you a much more holistic view of what truly drives long-term, sustainable success.
Okay, so the captain's at the helm, checking the instruments and the dashboard. But in a big organization, who holds the captain accountable for the entire voyage? I mean, who makes sure the mission itself is even sound?
Well, that critical job belongs to the board of directors, and this act of oversight is called governance. You can think of the board as the owners of the ship. They aren't steering day to day, but they are ultimately responsible for the whole mission and making sure the captain is doing their job effectively.
And check this out, here's a really surprising fact that comes from the research. When it comes to the size of that board, what's the magic number? Believe it or not, it seems to be right around 9. Study after study shows that companies with smaller boards significantly outperform those with larger ones.
So why does this work? It's actually pretty simple. With fewer people in the room, there's just nowhere to hide. You get deeper, more meaningful debates, you can make decisions way faster, and there's a real sense of individual accountability. It just goes to show that when it comes to the owners of the ship, less is very often more.
All right, finally, let's look at a couple of the really complex debates that every leadership team faces when they're charting their course. And trust me, these are not simple questions with easy answers.
First up, is strategy more of an art or a science? Is it about a captain's brilliant creative intuition, that gut feeling about where to go, or is it all about careful scientific navigation, a systematic, data-driven approach that's based on research and analysis? The truth is, the very best strategists find a way to blend both.
And then there's this one. Should the ship's destination be a big secret? If you keep your strategy hidden, you prevent rivals from copying your moves. That makes sense. But if you share it openly with everyone, you can rally the crew, which improves communication and commitment. It's a fundamental trade-off between security and getting everyone to buy in.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the one critical takeaway here? It's this: the map is not the territory. A strategy is not some document you write once, put in a binder, and file away. It's a living, breathing process of constantly checking your course, learning, and adapting to a world that never stops changing.
And that leaves us with one final thought for you to take away. Think about the ship you're on, your own company or organization. Does it have a map that's locked away in a drawer collecting dust, or is the captain constantly up on the bridge, checking the course and adjusting for the changing seas?